We are sitting with Mr. Rohit Pathak. He is the immediate past president of IEEMA and also the CEO of Birla Copper Division. Today he will be talking to us about the role of events like Elecrama and Distribulec for power sector, and also the contribution of copper in this context for the power sector. Welcome to NDTV Profit, Mr. Pathak.
Hi.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So can you tell to our viewers, since you are immediate past president, so what's the role of events like, say, Elecrama, which are bigger version of this, and also of Distribulec, which contributes to the growth of power sector?
So look, I think before I answer that question, it's important to note that India has seen and is going to see one of the biggest build-outs of the power infrastructure in the country. We have built about 400 gigawatts of capacity over the last 30-40 years. And in the next 5-6 years, we're going to build another 300-400 gigawatts. That's, we are almost doubling and building in the next 5-6 years what we've built in 30-40 years. In the last version of this build-out, we were able to ensure power to all across the country. In this build-out, we're going to ensure driving the growth of the economy, the digitalization and urbanization of the economy, and ensuring quality power to all, right? And it's not just power to all, but quality power to all. So I think in that context now, the role of Elecrama and events like Distribulec, Buildelec is also changing, right? Historically, we were about how do we build capacity. Today, we are actually a platform to bring in the best of technologies, which can now help make this build out greener, make it more smarter, and more efficient, right? And hence I think our aspiration in some of these events that we do is to be able to, one, showcase our capability to rest of the world. So you'll find a lot of international buyers coming into these events. So for example, the RBSM we get in a lot of foreign buyers to come and see and get exposure to the industry what we have. It also becomes a platform to discuss the opportunity in India for Indian players, and it also is a great platform for us to focus on a few of the priorities that as a country we are in an industry we're focusing on. So for example, safety is an important priority which we as an industry and association are trying to push a lot of effort on. So that's why you have a theme sponsor this time which is on safety, right? Because that's one big area for us as we look at this. Reliability and smart technologies is a very important part. We have now integrated startups in this electrical and power space into the way we do these programs, so that we can also give a platform to new technologies, new ideas that are coming up by companies in India to come and showcase their technologies or solutions.
So one that you spoke about the event, the other is that being a part of a copper group. So what kind of role you see copper playing in this overall demand growth for the power sector?
So look, fortunately, unfortunately, when you think of power, copper remains one of the key elements of what helps build power. And I believe as the country digitalizes, urbanizes, and electrifies, copper will be a key metal which will be used for different applications. Primary applications will remain in the electrical space of housing wires, winding wires, motors, electronics, digital equipment. And I think we do see in the coming years we should have a fairly large requirement of copper. If you look at renewable energy, which is going to be the bulk of the construction we do, typically uses 2 to 4 times more copper than the normal thermal system. Look at electric vehicles or e-mobility, which is the next big change that is going to happen in the economy world over. It uses 3 to 4x times more copper than normal ICE engine vehicle. So I think some of these changes will increase the copper intensity. Similarly, I think if you look at the component of digital in our lives and in consumer goods and others, you're going to see a lot more copper being used in them. So I do believe copper demand is set for a good robust growth, and we should as an industry we will continue to build the capacity to make sure that it's sustained and delivered domestically as much as possible.
From our previous interaction, I remember you had spoken about that you all worked on some white paper with the government of India, where they had said that as the per capita consumption of electricity increases, there is bound to be a 3 to 4x growth, in copper consumption as well. What is that figure that you all are looking at?
No, so I know, as we had shared last time, roughly we feel today, Indian copper demand is somewhere in the million ton a year range, and it will go to 3.5-4 million in the next 20 years. And so we do see it going up 3 to 4x. One, because the per capita increases significantly, and we do believe that India will also become a hub for exports of products from India, which will push up the domestic per capita consumption with exports as a focus of products that will be having copper content.
So, a couple of more questions. One on the challenges that you see for the copper sector, for the power copper component for the power sector, and second question would be on for the entire power sector. What's the kind of budget expectations that you all have?
So, I think in the on the budget, as IEEMA, we've represented our expectations of what we want, and I think the team can share with you the specific recommendation that we have or requests that we have given for what should be done. I think to me the biggest thing is, look, we are going to see a big build out. As we see the big build out, especially on renewables, we need to build more capacity for manufacturing of those components in India. I think it's aligned with the priority of the government has, where they've done a lot of PLI schemes and other incentives to bring more focus on manufacturing in India versus imports into India. And I think that's so a lot of the requests are in that nature of how do you encourage domestic manufacturing of components and not just assembly, right? Second, I think as a focus area for us, which is again aligned with what how the government is thinking, is to really give a big push on quality. Right, we have electrical applications are very sensitive to quality, and not just fire safety but also performance and reliability is dependent on quality. And hence, as IEEMA and as an industry, we are giving a lot of focus on how do we drive quality of products. So the QCOs and the standards that are being developed by the government, I think it's a good start. I know some of us have some of the industry will have challenges in following those QCOs, but I think it's moving in the right direction. It's for us as an industry to adopt these faster to drive this for the country.
Thank you very much for talking to NDTV Profit. It was our pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.